E.N.D here. Finally, spoiler season of one of the most awaited sets in Magic history has started. I'm referring to The Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth. Let's start. And I want to start with our heroes. Aragorn the Uniter. 1 red, 1 green, 1 white and 1 blue. It's a 5/5 human noble. Whenever you cast a white spell, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Whenever you cast a blue spell, scry 2. Whenever you cast a red spell, it deals 3 damage to target opponent. Whenever you cast a green spell, target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. There's the regular version and there's also the Showcase Ring version. One of the most beloved heroes, Gandalf the White. 3 and 2 white, it's a 4/5 with flash. You may cast legendary spells and artifact spells as though they had flash. If a legendary permanent or an artifact entering or leaving the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Not bad at all. Samwise Gamgee for 1 green and 1 white, it's a 2/2. Legendary creature, halfling peasant. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, create a food token. Sacrifice 3 foods. Return target historic card from your graveyard to your hand. Historic cards are artifacts, legendaries, and sagas. Gimli Mournful Avenger for 1 red and 1 green, it's a 3/2. Has indestructible as long as 2 or more creatures died under your control this turn. Whenever another creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on it. When this ability resolves for the 3rd time this turn, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Therefore, if 3 creatures or more will die under your control this turn, it will get 3 or more +1/+1 counters. It will be indestructible and will fight up to 1 target creature you don't control. If we're talking about Gimli, let's talk about Legolas Master Archer. For 1 and 2 green, it's a 1/4 with reach. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Legolas, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you don't control, Legolas deals damage equal to its power to up to 1 target creature. Boromir, Warden of the Tower. Boromir is one of my favorite characters in The Lord of the Rings, only because it was portrayed by Sean Bean, one of my favorite actors. Unfortunately, always dies. Anyway, 2 and 1 white, it's a 3/3. Vigilance. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. Sacrifice it. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. The ring tempts you. Told you, he always dies. Merry, Esquire of Rohan. For 1 red and 1 white, it's a 2/2 with haste. Has first strike as long as it equipped. Whenever you attack with Merry and another legendary creature, draw a card. Pippin, Guard of the Citadel. For 1 white and 1 blue, it's a 2/2, Vigilance and Ward 1. Tap, another target creature you control gains protection from the card type of your choice until end of turn. So those were our heroes. Now it's the turn of the villains. Sauron the Dark Lord. 3, 1 blue, 1 red and 1 black. It's a 7/6. Ward. Sacrifice a legendary artifact or legendary creature. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, amass Orcs 1. Whenever an army you control deals combat damage to a player, the ring tempts you. Whenever the ring tempts you, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw 4 cards. Sauron is nothing without the commander of his army, the Witch King of Angmar. 3 and 2 black, it's a 5/3 flying. Whenever 1 or more creatures deals combat damage to you, each opponent sacrifices a creature that dealt combat damage to you this turn. The ring tempts you. Discard a card, it gains indestructible until end of turn. Tap it. Saruman of Many Colors. 3, 1 white, 1 blue and 1 black. It's a 5/4. Ward. Discard an enchantment, instant or sorcery card. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, each opponent mills 2 cards. When 1 or more cards are milled this way, exile target enchantment, instant or sorcery card with equal or lesser mana value than that spell from an opponent's graveyard. Copy the exiled card. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. Orcish Bowmaster. For 1 and 1 black, it's a 1/1 with flash. Enters the battlefield and whenever an opponent draws a card except the first one they draw in each of their draw steps, Orcish Bowmaster deals 1 damage to any target, then amass Orcs 1. Oliphaunt. 5 and 1 red, it's a 6/4 trample. Whenever it attacks, another target creature control gets +2/+0 and gains trample until end of turn. Mountain Cycle for 1 any color. Gotmok Morgul Lieutenant, 3 and 1 black, it's a 3/3, enters the battlefield, amass Orcs 1. Creature tokens you control have Death Touch. Mirkwood Bat, 3 and 1 black, it's a 2/3 with flying. Whenever you create or sacrifice a token, each opponent loses 1 life. Voracious Felbeast, 4 and 2 black, it's a 4/4 flying. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature. Create a food token for each creature sacrificed this way. The 9 Nazgul, 2 and 1 black, it's a 1/2 with Death Touch, enters the battlefield, the ring tempts you. Whenever the ring tempts you, put a +1/+1 counter on each red you control. A deck can have up to 9 cards named Nazgul, and there are 9 versions of the card. Treason of Isengard, 2 and 1 blue, sorcery, put up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from a graveyard on top of your library, amass Orcs 2. Dunland Crebain, for 2 and 1 black, it's a 1/1 with flying, enters the battlefield, amass Orcs 2. Nasty End, for 1 and 1 black, instant, as an additional cost to cast the spell, sacrifice a creature, draw 2 cards. If the sacrificed creature was legendary, draw 3 cards instead. Pippin's Bravery, for 1 green, you may sacrifice a food. If you do, target creature get +4/+4 until end of turn, otherwise that creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. E.N.D's Fury, for 1 and 1 green, sorcery, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control if its power is 4 or greater. Then that creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn and fights target creature you don't control. Build the Pony, 3 and 1 white, it's a 1/4 legendary creature horse. Enters the battlefield, create 2 food tokens. Sacrifice a food. Until end of turn, target creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. Foray of Orcs, 3 and 1 red, it's a sorcery, amass Orcs 2. When you do, it deals X damage to target creature an opponent controls, where X is the amassed army's power. Quick Beam Upstart Ant, 4 and 2 green, it's a 5/6. When it or another 3/4 enters the battlefield under your control, up to 2 target creatures each get +2/+2 and gain trample until end of turn. Long list of the ends, for 1 green, it's an enchantment saga. There are 6 chapters, but all of them have the same ability. Note a creature type that hasn't been noted for the long list of the ends. When you cast your next creature spell of that type this turn, the creature enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Minas Tirith, legendary land, enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a legendary creature. Tap for 1 white, 1 and 1 white, tap, draw a card, activate only if you attack with 2 or more creatures this turn. Barad-dûr, another legendary land, enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a legendary creature. Tap for 1 black, X, X and 1 black, tap, amass Orcs X, activate only if a creature died this turn. Fangorn, 3 Shepherd, 4 and 3 green, it's a 4/10. 3 folk you control have vigilance. Whenever 1 or more 3 folk you control attack at twice that much green mana, you don't lose unspent green mana at steps and phases end. Galadriel Gift Giver, 3 and 2 green, it's a 4/4, enters the battlefield or attacks, choose 1, put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature. Create a food token, create a treasure token. Hugh the Entwood, 3 and 2 red, it's a sorcery, sacrifice any number of lands. Reveal the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of lands sacrificed this way. Choose any number of artifacts and or land cards revealed this way. Put all non-land cards chosen this way on the battlefield, then put all land cards chosen this way on the battlefield tab, then put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. Storm of Saruman, 4 and 2 blue, enchantment war 3. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, copy it, except the copy isn't legendary. You may choose new targets for the copy. Not a bad card at all. Last March of the Ends, 6 and 2 green, sorcery. The spell can be countered. Draw cards equal to the greatest toughness among creatures you control. Then put any number of creature cards from your hand on the battlefield. And this is a very scary sorcery card. The Battle of Penor Fields. Finally, the 15 cards that make up the artwork have been revealed. And honestly, they really make a masterpiece. Bridge of Khazad-dûm and Path of the Dead. 2 skin cards. One is Ensnaring Bridge and the other is Cavern of Souls. Last but not least, the One Ring, the 1 of 1, serialized unique One Ring. 1 lucky player, 1 lucky collector, or 1 lucky investor will crack this card. I really wish good luck to anyone that is going to crack these packs. So that was the last card in this particular day 1 of the spoilers of the Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth. Who wouldn't wish to crack that card? Join me tomorrow for more spoilers of this Magic set. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.